Hey, this is Walter Bond from Peak Performance Huddle, and let me be clear. If you're not disciplined, you are fooling yourself. It's literally impossible to be successful at the highest level without discipline. So stay tuned. All I want to do is break down how you're going to get more discipline so you can live your best life. Now, when I think about discipline, I'm going to give you a simple definition. The definition of discipline to me is being consistent in your action. So can I ask you a question? Based on where you're trying to go, professionally, with your business, with your sales, with your company, do you have consistent action on where you want to go? Or do you have consistent inaction? Let me be clear. I've done the homework for you. I've done the research for you. The average employee is only locked in and focused for 2.6 hours a day. I mean, that's like 2.5 hours a day. So my first question is your culture discipline? You got people on your payroll, I don't care if it's one person, I don't care if it's 200 people. Are you kidding me? You got people on your payroll who aren't disciplined? You must build a culture of discipline, which means, leader, you got to go first. You must be disciplined because that's the only way you're going to be successful. That's the only way you're going to be consistent. The biggest mistake people make in business is having inconsistent effort, lack of discipline, and they get inconsistent results, and then they blame the economy, they blame the dollar, they blame interest rates, they blame COVID. I'm telling you what, we blame COVID for everything. COVID's been gone for 5 years, and I still talk to business people and say, man, I was rolling, but you know what happened? Heard it's COVID. Like, really? That's 5 years ago, dude. You could have built a new company by now, okay? Here's what's gonna happen. Your lack of discipline is what might be hurting you the most. So I want you to pay attention, take some notes, and I wanna break down discipline in such a way that you will understand that your bag, your success, is completely connected with your ability to be disciplined. Your actions will dictate how disciplined you are. Now here's the truth. Goal achievement is what we're all after. So the first thing you have to have is a goal, right? Is your goal $1 million, $10 million, graduating high school? It really don't matter. Your goal is insignificant to what I want to teach you right now. But whatever goal you set, you must have some discipline to help you achieve that goal. Your goal might be simply, I want to lose some weight, discipline. I want to grow my sales, discipline. I want to make sure I always follow up, discipline. I've learned the importance of discipline in sports, but more importantly, I've learned how important discipline is in business. Now, no one will argue discipline in sports. Nobody fights me on that. But I sit down with business guys, and they look at me and they think they're so freaking smart. But I realize if you're not disciplined, that's dumb. To be successful in business, in any part of business, you must be disciplined with your efforts, disciplined with your thinking, disciplined with your mouth. How many employees you know get fired because their mouth is undisciplined, right? A lot of business leaders get in trouble for sexual assault. That's a lack of discipline. So if you're going to be successful and not sabotage you, you have to have a big goal. And I'm telling you, set a big goal, but at the same time you set this big goal, you must have discipline to get you there. We learned that in school. When the bell rang, where were you supposed to be? In class, which means every morning we didn't want to wake up. We were young, we were kids, we didn't want to get out of bed, but we were taught discipline. And you got in trouble for being late. So we had to wake up at 7:30. Some of you girls had to get up early to get your hair done, walk to school, take the bus, whatever your little system was, get dropped off. It built discipline in us. For 9 months out the year, an undisciplined kid struggle, the disciplined kids thrive. The same thing is true in our adult lives as professionals. We must be disciplined. So if the goal is to graduate high school, you got discipline. The goal was to graduate college, you got discipline. Well, the goal to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, or be an entrepreneur is no different. You must set a big goal, but most importantly, you must have some discipline, which is really the consistent efforts, right, that are going to get you to your goal. So here's my question. Are you focused on the long term or the short term? That's what really breaks most people down. If you live day to day, check to check, trust me, you don't think about discipline, and you surely don't think about your long term. Successful people understand, I'm gonna play the long game. You've heard that before, but you didn't know what it meant? I'm gonna play the long game, which means I'm not gonna freak out every day. I got a strategy, in the end, I win. It might be 2 years from now, it might be 10 years from now, it might be 15 years from now. Think about investing. Investments require discipline, and someone who's going to play the long game is going to have more success than someone who's playing a quick game. I know people all the time who think their financial strategy is going to the casino. Are you serious? Yes. People go to the casino, and sometimes people have allowed themselves to believe this is a good financial plan. That is a crazy financial plan. Why? Because you're going to lose, and you're just thinking about your short term. If you're thinking about the long term, stay out the casino and go get you an investment vehicle over a long period of time. You can almost guarantee you're going to be a millionaire. There's some study, if you invest $25 a month for 30 years, you're guaranteed to be a millionaire. Now look at me. You should have been a millionaire, right? If you're not a millionaire, shame on you. For 30 years, if you just invested $25 a month in a 12% yielding product, you can be a millionaire? Absolutely. But you've been focused on the short term. You ignored the long term, and that's why you're not gotten any progress into where you want to be. You got to make sure you always focus on the long term, which is going to require you to have some discipline. Now, a little bit of a news flash. My favorite book is by an author named Mensa Otabil. The name of the book is By the Future. This changed my life. When I read this book, I was broke. Let me rephrase that. When I read this book, I was broke. I had no money coming in. And I was making some money, but it just scattered. It disappeared. And I read this book, and it talked about making decisions based on the long term and where you want to be in the future. And all of a sudden, get it, By the Future, by Mensa Otabil. Grab it and read it. And it's a biblical book. And if you love the Bible like I do, it's going to make so much sense. It's a whole interaction between Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau, they were brothers. Jacob and Esau. He made one strategic move, and Jacob set himself up for the long term. I don't want to bore you right now. Go grab that book, By the Future. And I'm telling you, Mensa Otabil killed it on this book. If I ever meet him, I'm going to give him a hug. If you meet him before I do, give him a hug for me. So here's what discipline does. It helps save you time. It's all about time management. I just lost 60 pounds. My personal trainer, Mac, kicked my butt for 30 minutes. That's all it took. Every morning at 7 a.m., I had an appointment, and for 30 minutes, I hated his guts. But for 30 minutes, he loved on me, right? You get it? I hated his guts, but he was loving on me. And all of a sudden, I started putting on my clothes, and they were falling off of me. Before I knew it, my wife looking at me like, well, I can tell you've been working out. The muscles started bulging. It's time management. And only 30 minutes a day, my body got transformed, but it was a disciplined 30 minutes. I'm talking about 30 minutes hard. I'm like no breaks. And I'm telling you, man, he kicked my butt for 30 minutes. So that discipline of getting up every morning at 7 a.m. for 9 months, I got to my spot. I've been maintaining. So discipline allows you to save time. You don't need to go to the gym for 2 hours. You're not a bodybuilder. Are you Lou Ferrigno, right? Are you about to go get into a bodybuilding contest? In fact, I met bodybuilders. I've heard them talk about they only work for 2 hours. So what are you doing at the gym all day? Talking, socializing, walking around looking in the mirrors. That's what you're doing all day. You're not working. If you really work out hard, you don't need to be there 2 hours. So in 30 minutes, I transform my body. So discipline allows you to save time. It allows you to be productive, and you avoid procrastination. Again, you know people who go to the gym, they'll be there all day and they don't lose any weight, just as fat as they can be. Why? Because they don't have the discipline when they get to the gym. And being in the gym is not enough, right? You got to get the work in. So discipline helps you with time management. It helps you with productivity, and you have to avoid procrastination. People who procrastinate lack discipline. People who are productive are disciplined. So you have to ask the question, which one do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who is disciplined and productive? Or do you want someone who's undisciplined, unproductive, who constantly procrastinates? Now, we all understand that time flies, okay? So time flies in business. You could be wealthy in a year, right? You could be a millionaire in a year or two. You could be in great shape in 3 months sometimes is all it takes. So the whole point I'm trying to make, if you want to be successful, if you want to hit your long-term goals, if you want to be successful over a long period of time, being disciplined is literally unavoidable. And let me tell you what discipline does for you. It encourages accountability. When you're disciplined, and you know, man, I didn't work out this morning. Shoot, I got to go work out. I missed my morning workout. I got to get this workout in, man. I missed this morning workout. I'm going to go at lunchtime. And the person who's disciplined, even though if they missed that morning workout, they're not going to miss it the next day. And And they're going to go make up for it in lunch. Why? Because they're disciplined and they feel bad, they're angry, they're frustrated because they broke their discipline. Here's what happened to undisciplined people. Man, I've been working out for a month. Isn't that good? I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to go give myself a treat. And all of a sudden, you go buy some Krispy Kreme. Oh, I'm going to give myself a treat. I'm going to take the week off. And before you know it, that week turned into a month. That one Krispy Kreme turned into a box of Krispy Kremes. And you have to understand, taking away your discipline is not a reward. Successful people are very disciplined. I had a buddy of mine call me the other day. He works at IMG, which is a high-end youth school for athletes. He says, Walter, you ever notice that wealthy people are never obese? He said that to me. I say, yeah, I have noticed that. I've known that for a long time. Why? Because successful people are disciplined naturally. And since they're disciplined naturally, they're disciplined with their diet, they're disciplined when they work out, and they're disciplined in all that they do. So being disciplined encourages accountability. And I'm telling you, you must be accountable to your disciplined schedule, and that's what's going to get you your results. Faith without works is dead. A lot of us have the faith to be successful, but we don't understand the works connected to being successful. So you blaming God, you're frustrated with God, it's your fault. Faith without works is dead. You mean to tell me you're going to sit around and just talk about God, talk about Jesus, and that's enough? No. Faith without works. You got to have the faith, but you got to give God something to work with. So if you got the faith, and if you're disciplined with your work ethic, oh my God, now God is saying, now I can bless you because that is wise. And I can't bless somebody who's lazy, right? Diligent hands, right, is what makes you prosper. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, and poverty will overcome you like a bandit. I just gave you some Bible. So God wants you to work hard, but he also wants you to believe, okay? When you are disciplined, it builds confidence. It builds confidence. I never forget, my wife, Antoinette, wanted to run a 3K, not walk a 3K. She wanted to run a 3K. And that girl worked out, she hired a trainer, and she got out this bed, she went to the beach, she got on the sand, and she ran. And we got time to go to Orlando to do the 3K. Might have been a 5K, can't remember. But I'm telling you, that girl ran the whole entire race, did not walk 1 yard. And when she got done, it was emotional for her. Why? Because she set a goal, long-term goal, to run a 5K. She got disciplined, hired a trainer, and got trained to run the 5K. And guess what happened? That girl went, and she ran the 5K. All right, so apply that to every area of life. Being disciplined builds confidence. I shot 500 shots a day on my way to the NBA. Don't leave me open. Why? I'm confident. I do this every day. This is like chewing bubble gum. This is like walking. This is what I do. 500 shots a day built my confidence that when I got that basketball, even though I'm in front of 20,000 people, didn't matter. I'm so confident and locked in, the 20,000 people couldn't distract me because the discipline of 500 shots a day gave me the confidence that I'm gonna hit the shot. And even if I missed one, I knew the next one was going in. Why? Because I put the work in. I put the time in. I've been doing this for years. The ball's supposed to go in. And I want you to be confident in all that you do. And when you lack confidence, it's a direct correlation to the lack of discipline. Remember in school, I'm gonna go back to old school. You got grown and you forgot. Remember in school when you really studied for that test? Remember? Man, you couldn't wait to go to school, right? You grabbed your little number 2 pencil, you had you a big breakfast, and you went in that classroom and attacked the test. Why? Because you were prepared, you had studied, you were disciplined, you didn't stay up all night, you didn't need to cram, and you had complete confidence. Oh, I aced that test. Oh, I aced that test. And I remember, I would hear people say that. Oh, I aced that test. And in the moments when I was in high school, I didn't ace those tests. I was like, ooh, I don't know how I did. I hope I passed. Why? Because I wasn't disciplined. I crammed all night, and I hoped and prayed. The truth is, students who are successful in school are disciplined. They go home, they do their homework, they know the assignments, they get them done on time, they do it the right way. There's no need to cram, there's no need to stay up late, there's no need to drink Mountain Dew and coffee all night and cramming for the test, which is crazy. A whole semester worth of school, you're gonna learn in one night? That is absolutely crazy. But let me tell you something, let's not make those habits in high school carry into our adult lives. Be disciplined. And the most important time to be disciplined is when you have adversity. And let me close with this. Let me tell you something, man. Get you a plan, and women. I say man a lot. I don't mean man, I mean people, right? Get a disciplined schedule and stick to it. You should have a disciplined schedule with your diet. You should have a disciplined schedule with how you work out. You should have a disciplined schedule on how you work, how you make sales calls, how you work out. How you go to church, how you pray, how you read your Bible. Your whole life should be disciplined. And here's why. They call disciples because they became disciplined to Jesus. So you can't be a disciple without being disciplined. So the truth is, what are you a follower of? So we should be disciplined in all that we do so you can hit the goal, the long-term goal that you set for yourself. For the most part, the only way you will miss your goal is if you don't have the discipline to prepare to achieve your goal. But listen, that's enough time on discipline. And let me be clear, you need to be a disciple of something. And in order to be successful, you must be disciplined. Thank you.